You already know what you need to do. You've known for months, maybe years, and yet every morning you wake up with the same promise. Today is different, and every night you close your eyes wondering why nothing has changed. By the end of this video, you'll understand the one thing that separates people who consistently achieve their goals from everyone else who just talks about them. But here's the part nobody tells you up front. It has nothing to do with how motivated you feel. Let's be honest about something. Motivation is a liar. It shows up when life is exciting, when the goal is new, when the playlist hits right and the coffee kicks in. But where is it on a Tuesday in February when it's cold, you're tired, and the results are nowhere in sight? Gone. And if your entire system depends on feeling ready, on feeling inspired, then you have built your future on the most unreliable foundation imaginable. The people who change their lives don't wait to feel ready. They act before the feeling arrives. The real struggle underneath all of this isn't about productivity. It's not about time management or morning routines or the habit tracker. The emotion at the core of this problem is fear, the quiet, persistent fear that your effort won't be enough, that you'll truly, really try and still fail. And so you wait. You research instead of act. You prepare instead of begin. Because not starting feeling safer than starting and falling short. That fear is what this video is really about. And once you understand how it operates, you can finally stop letting it run your life. So here's what discipline actually is. Because most people have this completely wrong. Discipline is not a personality trait you either have or don't have. It is not a gift given to elite athletes or high-performing CEOs. Discipline is a decision made in advance, before emotion enters the room. It is the agreement you make with your future self when your present self is calm, clear, and thinking straight. The moment you understand that discipline is a system, not a feeling, everything changes. But there's a deeper layer to this system that most people never discover. And it's the reason why even people with strong willpower eventually collapse under pressure. Think about the last time you broke a commitment to yourself. You skipped the workout, avoided the task, chose comfort over growth, and in that moment, it didn't feel like fear. It felt like logic. Your brain generated 100 reasonable explanations. You were tired, it wasn't the right time, you'd start fresh Monday, but what was really happening was that your mind protecting you from the discomfort of possible failure. And here's the critical insight. Your brain cannot distinguish between the discomfort of effort and the discomfort of danger. It treats both the same. So every time you push toward a difficult goal, your own mind will reset you. Not because you were weak, because you're human. So how do people override this? How do the ones who build real discipline, the kind that shows up on hard days in bad moods without applause, how do they do it? The answer begins with one counterintuitive principle that rewrites how you think about action entirely. And it will challenge something you've believed about yourself for a very long time. The principle is this. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. A goal is a direction, a system is the engine. When motivation disappears, and it will, the only thing standing between you and your old habits is the quality of the environment and routines you've constructed around yourself. This means discipline is designed, not summoned. You architect it deliberately, removing obstacles before they appear, reducing the number of decisions you need to make, and making the right behavior the path of least resistance. Start with what is called minimum viable commitment. Instead of promising yourself an hour at the gym, promise yourself 5 minutes. Instead of writing a full chapter, promise yourself one paragraph. This is not settling for less. This is bypassing the brain's resistance mechanism entirely. Because once you begin, momentum builds naturally. The hardest part is never the middle. It is always the start. When you lower the barrier to starting, you eliminate the moment where fear wins. The second element is what separates people who are consistent for weeks from those who are consistent for years. Identity. Not goals, not habits alone, but how you see yourself. If you think of yourself as someone who is trying to be disciplined, you will negotiate with yourself constantly. But if you decide firmly, definitively that you are simply someone who does what they say they will do, the negotiation ends. You stop asking, do I feel like it? Because that question becomes irrelevant. The decision was already made at the identity level. There is one more thing, one piece that holds all of this together, and it is the answer to the loop open at the beginning of this video. You wanted to know what truly separates those who achieve from those who don't. It is not talent, it is not resources, it is not even discipline in the traditional sense. It is the willingness to act imperfectly, to show up on the days when the effort is mediocre, when the result is below standard, when nobody is watching and nobody could blame you for stopping. Champions are not built on their best days, they are built on their worst ones. When they showed up anyway, did they work anyway, move forward anyway? So you do not need more motivation, you need a system that doesn't require it. You need an identity that makes quitting feel foreign. And you need to courage to start badly, repeatedly, until you start well. That is the whole secret. Build the system, protect your identity, show up on the hard days. Everything else will follow.